one of the things in this dynamic, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is if there is an impasse between the visionary and the integrator, the visionary submits to the integrator.
Yes.
And that is a like mind-blowing concept for somebody who started their own business.
Right.
That I'm going to give up control and submit to this other person. And I explained this. I was like, well, listen, the integrator's job is to actually make the dream that you have come true. And if they're saying, time out, I can't do it.
Right. Right. We're not going to hit our profitability goals. We're going to be
exactly. And so then you can't just keep plowing ahead, do it anyway, do it anyway. They're saying, I can't do it. So it's either them saying, I can't do it, I'm out, or we scale back a little bit and we tweak and change it. Right.
Right. And so that's the danger that I see with a lot of the leadership teams that I and the disconnect that visionary type owners have in a business. So when we teach EOS, we talk about an accountability chart where the visionary, which is more like a CEO, the integrator, which is a COO, work together. And the combination of those two people, if they're well matched, is like rocket fuel. The business takes off, right? What visionaries struggle with a lot of the time is, well, what about me as an owner? Don't I get to make decisions as an owner? And what we teach in EOS is, well, owners are over here. They're not in the day-to-day business. While they absolutely can make decisions about, capital investments, about the performance of the integrator, they're not really, you have to remember what role you're in. And so you can't really pull the owner card and say, you have to trust that somebody's actually looking out for the greater good of the organization, even sometimes more than you are as a visionary. And so that's really what you have to surrender to. And part of this process is there's a little bit of surrender, which is hard. For people that are kind of control freaks in the first place. Otherwise, why would they have their own business, right? So anyway, it's an interesting... It's interesting when I see visionaries like getting it and realizing that actually they're freer in some ways by having somebody there to check them. It's just like a chess game, right? So that's what they're there to do, is to really think about the greater good when,
So I have this thing with Scott, my integrator. When he wants me to do something, and I don't want to do it, he says, I bet you can't do this. Now, it's like my little kid, like you get older, you're like, I'm not falling for that trick anymore. And I still fall for it. And he's like, I don't think you can do that though. And I'm like, yeah, I can. And he'll be like, yeah, but I don't know anyone in our company who could pull that off. And I'm like, I will. It's just his way of getting me to do stuff. It's really funny because he knows I'm so competitive and I'm so like, what wall? I will break that wall down, or I'll climb over it, or back or something. And so, and I have this little thing when I want something from Scott. I hope he doesn't watch this, Scott. If you're talking, somebody block Scott's ears. But I'm like, hey, he's always about money. I need some money. I need you to prove something. Hey, I'm a visionary business owner here, and he's a business partner. But I'm like, I need some money to do this thing, which I think is going to work. It's this big dream I have and an idea. And he's like, listen, it just doesn't work with the numbers. And I'm like, fine, I'll pay for it myself personally then. Just take it out of take it out of this here. And he's like, no, don't do that. And I'm like, no, I believe in it so much. Just take it out of there and I will prove that it's going to work. And he's like, no, don't do that. And he realizes I believe in it so much that he's like, so then it gets covered in the business. It's great. So that's my where I get what I want from him. I just tell him I'll pay for it personally, and then he lets the business pay for it. So confession times with Beth Fahey.
But it's a good test, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's
like,
not
how passionate are you?
Exactly. But that's what I want, a whole organization like that, where people think like a business owner, right? Think like, okay, how am I going to pay for this? And I got a lot of people in our organization who are passionate about stuff. And I'm like, great. Would you personally pay for it? And they're like, personally? No. Like, I'm not, no. The key is use other people's money, Jonathan. But like, well, I want to know, would you personally pay for it? Would you keep this employee around? I think they're going to come out great. Like, okay, would you personally pay for it though? For a little bit. And I'm like, how long would you personally pay for it? I'd pay for it for 90 days. I'm like, okay, then I'll pay for it for 90 days. But on the day 91, if it's not working out, then it's not working out. Let's make a decision that it's going to come to an end. So I think that's the beautiful thing about team, and as you mentioned that you don't do it alone. When you're testing your thing, don't go the road alone. I think that's a beautiful thing about the clarity of an operating system like EOS is you can't do it on your own. You're going to hit this ceiling, and you need team to